Hi everybody, this is foXnoMad, and today I want to help you travel smarter by sharing some of your messages from around the world during this corona, quarantine, lockdown, whatever it is, the thing that all of us seem to be going through. So earlier this week, I reached out to some of my newsletter subscribers and I asked them, hey, what are you up to? Where are you in the world? How are things where you are? And I wanted to share some of those messages with you. So Pam in Colorado wrote, I'm in Colorado on the Front Range. It's a beautiful spring day here and I'm sheltering at home. When I used to work, I worked from home, so I'm quite used to being isolated between trips. I feel like I've been training for this for 30 years. Yep, Julia in Turkey, we're taking the opportunity to go through cookery books on our shelves to experiment with more dishes, Turkish and international. The exercise mat and dumbbells are in use too. Good for you. Laura in Ohio, I'm near Cleveland and we're under a shelter-in-place order. I teach college history, so I'm preparing to do that remotely starting next week. I'm spending my time catching up on some reading. It's amazing how the absence of everyday white noise in my life is helping me refocus and reprioritize. Thank you, and your students should thank you too. Paul in Berlin, here in Berlin, things have slowed down. Everything but supermarkets, spot shops, and pharmacies is closed, just takeouts available. I'm flattening the curve at home, out rarely, but busy on the laptop nonetheless, using the time to study. And he also shared this photo from the train station the other day, which normally is very crowded, but it's lockdown time. Lorraine in Sheffield in the UK, I have a couple of days of my 7 days to go and I'm feeling remarkably settled. Mother's Day was hard not being able to be with my daughter and grandson, but other than that one big cry, I'm getting on with household chores, watching TV and trying to avoid the sensationalist news programs. Music has become my happy place, be it on the radio, Spotify, or old CDs. Any recommendations? Bess in Chicago shared this photo. Says we're working in Chicago under lockdown and I'm grateful. We're mostly warm inside our house, working from home and watching our 2 kids. Heather in Portland, I'm starting a 2-week of social distancing and working from home. It's eerily quiet and also still busy here in Portland, if that makes sense. I walk the dogs every afternoon and that's really my only time out, minus grocery store shopping. And Anil in Mumbai, great name by the way, shared these photos the day before India completely locked down. And you can see these photos from Mumbai completely deserted. I don't know when the next time you'd see these kind of photos again are. It's really like Istanbul, like a movie set. I've got one last one from Liz in Valencia. Every night at 8 p.m. we all open our windows and clap for several minutes in a row to thank the people who are still working out there to keep us alive. After the clapping is done, some of the neighbors starts playing songs very loud to motivate everyone else. Songs like We Are the Champions and some other Spanish songs that I'm not familiar with. I always smile at this time. It's a beautiful little routine that we have. I'm in Istanbul, Turkey, and we also have a similar routine. At 9 p.m. everybody goes out to their windows and to their balconies. Taxis drive down the streets honking their horns. People clap, people bang pots, people sing, people whistle, all in support of all the healthcare workers who's keeping everybody healthy. And so that happens every night at 9 p.m. It sounds like this. If you want to see more of that from Istanbul, I'll link to that up wherever that happens to be up there. I'll link to that video. I just posted a video about what it looks like in Istanbul lately these days. Thank you everybody in the newsletter who sent me your replies. I'm gonna actually have a special episode of the foXnoMad podcast. I couldn't get everything into the video. I got such a huge response, but I'm gonna link to that episode of the podcast in the description of this video below. I hope you'll check it out. It's a really special, different episode of the podcast, and your stories really touch me. I really appreciate everybody who sent something back, and I'm really excited to share those with you. If you're also locked down in quarantine, you probably are, you want to listen to that and hear everybody's stories. I think you'll find them interesting and comforting, and also just a little bit of travel, because if we're going to be locked down, having the internet makes it a whole lot easier. As for me, a lot of you have been asking whether or not I'm still traveling. You may have seen my latest videos from Nepal. I'm not traveling right now. I've had to cancel a lot of trips, but fortunately, at least from the video side, I spent the last couple of months in over 20 cities, taking a whole bunch of travel and tech videos, which you'll be seeing at least in the time being. I've got plenty of content. Otherwise, my daily routine, I usually work from home, so it's not really changed too much. The streets here are very quiet. Everything is pretty much closed outside of grocery stores and pharmacies. But other than that, like you, hoping that the situation gets over sooner than later and we can all be traveling again and outdoors and hanging out with our friends. I also reached out to some of my travel blogging friends to see how they were doing, what they were up to, and to share some of that with all of you. So they sent in some videos, which I'm going to share with you now, all of their messages where they are in the world. So I hope you enjoy those. Also, if you're watching this and you want to share your quarantine story, please do down in the comments below. I'll appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who shared their stories. And now here's some travel bloggers.
Hi, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing good during these tough times. I'm Daniel Galan from Granada, Spain, and work at the City Hall, and I have my blog El Viaje al Mapache, and I'm telling you how the situation is in Spain. As you know, the situation in our country has been like kind of tough, and we've been in a lockdown for over 14 days. So this is being hard. I'm just working from home. I'm working hard on my blog, and well, just staying at home at 8 p.m. every day. The people from Spain goes on the streets, like to the balconies and to their windows, and we give a big applause to all those people that work in the sanitary and health systems, because they are the real heroes from this crisis. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.
Hi there, I'm Nora Dunn, otherwise known as the Professional Hobo, and I'm not wearing any pants. Let's just start there in the myriad of silver linings that we can find from living in isolation with coronavirus. I have a home base in Canada. I used to travel full-time. I traveled full-time for 12 years. A few years ago, I got a home base in Canada, but I travel for about half of every year. So I was abroad in Greece when coronavirus started getting very serious. And call it divine intuition, call it a series of coincidences, call it dumb luck, call it whatever you will. I actually ended up returning home from my travels early and also before things started getting really serious with quarantines and lockdowns and border closures. So I consider myself very lucky to have a place to have returned home to. And, you know, after all these years of traveling on the road, I think actually there's no place like home has a very special meaning for me. Regarding isolation, it's kind of business as usual for me. I've been working from home or from whatever my home on the road is for years, decades actually. So for me, there's actually not really much difference, but I know for many people they are now working from home, and this is a very new thing, or they're homeschooling their kids who are out of school. And the one thing I guess that is my life-saving tip that I will impart to anyone who wants to listen is a routine is really key. It's very important to have a routine and to stick to it in order to remain productive and also to some extent to maintain your sanity through this period of isolation. Regarding travel, I do think that we will all travel again. It may take a little while, but in the meantime, for me, I take comfort in the knowledge that personally for me, travel is not so much an act unto itself, nor is it a thing to do, but rather it is a way of being and a way of living. And as long as I am living in this world, I am traveling through it. Whether I'm traveling through my inner landscapes, or whether I'm traveling vicariously by watching shows and movies, or whether I'm simply traveling from the kitchen to the bathroom to the bedroom. As long as we have this spirit of travel and adventure inside us, I think that it's a good day. Nora Dunn, also known as the Professional Hobo. Ciao.
Hi everyone, my name is Joao from the No Footprint Nomads. I'm currently living in Vietnam. We are actually living here and planning to stay here some more months. And since the crisis have started, we consider moving back home to Portugal. We are both from Portugal. So we decided to stay here. We are doing our own self-quarantine. Some people are doing it, others aren't. It's fine. It's not mandatory, but we decided to do it ourselves. In a way, our life for the last month, because we have so much work and we've been doing so much work online, our life hasn't changed much. We spend most of the day at home like we did before. We got the groceries delivered. The only thing we do in the morning, we go out for a little bit of exercise by ourselves, of course, and we go to the beach, which is empty. The difference from before is that instead of going out once in a while or going to play soccer or board games or going out for dinner, we don't do that. So we stay at home. My suggestion is try to bring everything you have to do in terms of work, any project that you have, because if you keep your head in something that entertains you, because you have to, then do it, because at least for a while you'll forget what's going on. So everyone, good luck, stay safe, and we'll go through this.
Hi everyone, this is Claudia of My Adventures Across the World. I am filming from the comfort of my sofa in Cagliari, Italy, where I've been in lockdown it's going to be 2 weeks tomorrow. You know, it's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions for all of us here in Italy. We've been the second country to go into lockdown after Wuhan, China. And since then, many other countries followed in these extreme measures to keep the coronavirus at bay. It's been weird because when Italy was crying for help and begging other countries to please don't make our mistakes, others were just looking as if this would never happen to them, and it was concerning. Thankfully, things have changed, and now countries are taking main important measures to fight this. But meantime, my hope is that the world changes and it becomes a better place, and that we manage to build a better world for everyone together. I stay positive that things will change soon and people will start traveling again. And I continue publishing post after post and see what happens. I hope you're all safe. Please stay at home. Stay at home. It's important now.
Hi everyone, this is Sherry from World, and thank you, Arnold, for asking for this update. So I am actually here at home inside in Denver, Colorado. It's a very sunny day right now, very nice, and just officially 3 minutes ago, something like that, we went into official lockdown here in the city of Denver. So we're in it for sure until April 10th, and then they will reevaluate. So that is Denver, which means that I am sitting here at my little desk in my tiny little studio apartment, which will probably feel really tiny after 2 weeks or so. Just working away, and I'm trying to use the time to work on website stuff. So that means I'm just sitting here dreaming of where I'm going next. I have had a lot of trips cancel at this point, obviously, and I'm just hoping that the second half of the year can be salvaged. Here in Denver, we are experiencing quite a few cases of COVID-19. It's going to be going up, and these next 2 weeks are probably going to be really bad. So hopefully everyone will do their part and stay in. One thing I do have is to keep me busy is foster kittens. So because I travel all the time, one of the things that I do is foster kittens when I'm home for short periods, because it's a way that I can have a pet as a traveler. So I don't know if you can see, but there are right back there in the closet there's a mama cat and 3 kittens. The mama cat is still nursing. Those 3 kittens are going to be coming out. So if you want to follow me on @OtsWorld, you won't be seeing travel right now, but you will be seeing kittens.
Hey everyone, Sophie here from wonderfulwanderings.com, recording this from Belgium. I was actually still in Lisbon until last week, but I decided to take the last commercial flight home on Friday to ride out this corona thing. So I'm currently in an Airbnb where I'm self-isolating for 2 weeks before I'll go to my parents. I didn't want to take any risks because you never know if you're a carrier or not. So the situation in Belgium at the moment is that you're allowed out to go do groceries, to help like family who may be a risk group, or like elderly parents, grandparents. You're also allowed to go to the pharmacy and the doctor, and you're allowed to go out for walks, but only like around your living place, and only with the same people that you live with, or with like one friend, and you have to keep 1.5 meters distance. So that 1.5 meters distance goes all the time whenever you come outside. You're also not allowed to drive further away from where you live. So, for example, I'm lucky because the Airbnb I'm staying in has a forest just like 300 meters from here. So I can go for walks there. But for example, if you don't live near a green space, you're not allowed to drive to a forest to go for a walk. You have to do it in the vicinity of your home. Currently, I think the restrictions here are until April 5th, but I'm pretty sure they will prolong. So let's wait and see.
Hey, Jessie here from Jessie on a Journey, coming to you from my apartment in Manhattan. It's March 25th. The situation in New York City seems to be changing by the hour, at least it feels that way. Right now, there are no non-essential businesses allowed open, though the definition is a little murky, like a lot of construction workers are still working. I've seen some retail stores still open, but anyway, there's no restaurants, bars, cafes. I do hip hop classes at 2 different studios, and both of them are continuing to do like the live stream classes. Comedy clubs are doing live streams. You could do paint night as a live stream. So that's been really interesting to see how the businesses that I love supporting during regular times are still kind of getting creative and allowing you to use their services and enjoy, what they do even now, which I think is super helpful for getting through this. Something interesting I'd say is that I have been more social this past 2 weeks than I have before the whole coronavirus thing, just because all of my friends are planning all these Zoom parties, I'll call them, like meeting up on Zoom, grabbing a glass of wine, talking, playing games and Jackbox and things. So that's been kind of fun. Like last Friday, I was on Zoom with 15 friends from 8 p.m. to 12:30 at night. So that's been really helpful. If you have not been doing that, try to get a group of friends together for a game night and some wine on Zoom. I'll say the things that are keeping me super happy include this cutie.
Hi, this is Barbara Weibel from Hole in the Donut. I am currently in Thailand. This is my only home. I live in the northern part of the country in Chiang Mai, and I've been living here about 2.5 years. It's a little bit scary, but especially at my age, because I'm in the more at-risk group. Last night, they ordered a national emergency. A state of emergency. And we don't really know what that means yet because the Prime Minister hasn't given us any details. There's, rumors that it's going to mean we can't go out after 6 o'clock at night. We are sort of on this modified lockdown, which gets a bit more stringent every couple of days. Right now it's a little tough because, I'm feeling a little stir crazy. It's kind of strange as a writer. I haven't felt any problem with staying in for a couple of days. I often sort of stay in and binge write and get caught up on my posts from the blog. But I think it's psychological that the fact that I can't go out now is a bit more unsettling. I feel a bit like I've lost my freedom. I'm disappointed that we haven't made more progress in treating each other like human beings. I wonder whether this coronavirus will have an effect for the positive in that direction. And I hope that there will be lessons learned from this, like there seemed to be after 9/11, when New Yorkers started treating each other with kindness and caring. So that's where I am. I'm fine for right now. Hopefully, knock on wood, everything will be fine. I hope all of you are fine. And I hope you're taking precautions so that you don't get sick and you don't get others sick. Thanks. Bye.
And let me know how you're holding up down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your quarantine stories, where you are in the world, and how you're getting through the day. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you check out that episode of the podcast with everybody's stories. I'm really excited to share that with you. And while you're down there, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. I scrubbed them off so they're completely germ-free. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. So one thing you don't know about recording in this particular room, aside that the lighting is terrible, is that the seagulls go crazy every about 10 minutes, and then the cats in the backyard start fighting on random intervals. I don't know if the mic